Went to Sainsbury's earlier, Jamie.
Oh,
got a new clothes era.
New clothes era. Okay. What happened to the old one?
It broke. I put too many clothes on it after too many years, and it collapsed. Bit of a cautionary tale.
That must have been quite traumatic. Was it like clothes all over the floor?
Yeah, loud noise.
Was it wet? The clothes, were they wet?
Oh yeah, of course they were wet. Why would I be airing them if they weren't wet?
Christ, that was an emergency visit you went to. I mean, how is the new product? Is it okay?
It's the same as the old one.
Okay.
Exactly the same, but not broken. So the same as it was when it was new.
Wow.
But yeah, Argos in Sainsbury's now. What a weird world we live in.
Yes, I went to one of those the other day and I was quite baffled by the layout, to be honest. I also kind of just thought, doesn't that diminish the power of Sainsbury's with Argos so nearby?
Well, Sainsbury's own Argos, apparently.
Look at this world. Look what it's becoming, guys.
In a similar way to the way that we actually own the rights to the Bruce Springsteen on Broadway show.
Yeah. So every time you watch that on Netflix, every time you stream it, doesn't go to the boss. It goes to these guys. We knew that investment would pay off.
He might be the boss, but we're the board.
What happened was we were in a bar one night and he walked in
and he started talking about the glory days.
Yeah, and I leaned over to you and I was like, "It's Bruce Springsteen," and I was like, "Yeah," and I said, he sat down. He was like, "I can see that you two gentlemen know your way around a whiskey sour," and we said, "Of course." So we had a few of those whiskey sours, and I was like, "Oh, getting a bit lashed here," and he kind of looked and I just went, "Bruce, we've got a business proposal for you." And he said, "Well, yeah, sure." And I was like, "Picture this, just, whoa, come take my hand, sign this contract, and you'll understand. Oh, whoa, Thunder Road. Oh, whoa, Thunder Road." But less about roads.
Welcome back to Down with Boring.
Yeah, welcome.
Dork's new music podcast, and the only podcast about Bruce Springsteen that wasn't born in the USA.
Famously, famously actually. Yeah, that's literally physical proof. We've got another good show here this week. We're going to be joined by Maya, someone we've played on the show multiple times, beaming in direct from down under. Jake.
Yeah, and as you know, I am scared of Australia, so I didn't join this chat.
He didn't. He had enough of it. He said, "There's no way. I just don't know what's going to happen."
I don't understand how the gravity works, and it scares me.
So one day, Jake will develop and get over that. But until then,
if it pushes me down, surely it pushes them into space.
What do you think is happening?
Gravity.
What do you think is happening?
Gravity is like an invisible man holding your shoulders down at all times. But the ground stops you from falling off. Whereas if you're in Australia, the reverse must be true.
We didn't discuss that with Maya. Had a really nice chat, so that'll be coming later on. So stick around for that. We've got new, music news. We've got the tracks, the albums. You know the stuff by now. Tweets of the week. It's all going on.
It is. We're back with a bang.
And also, this is probably a good time to shill our goods, if you will. And by that I mean go to the Dork website where you can pick up a copy of the latest issue. Which at the moment features a little cover story done by yourself. Is that right, Mr. Jake Hawks?
It does, that is correct. So what I did was I did a big cover story for the magazine with Sports Team. Ooh. And then I went on the Sports Team Margate bus trip and somehow forgot to make that connection in last week's show.
Great stuff. Really good stuff.
When we were discussing that.
Had some good feedback. Had some good feedback from last week's show. Yeah. People were like, "This sounds wonderful."
Who was that?
That was the neighbour next door. What I like to do is when the show goes out, I like to play it really loud, just to pick up a few more listeners.
Like when people put the TV on for the dog when they go out.
Yes, leave the light on for the dog. Yeah, all that. And yeah, they were big fans of it. So June and Terry. This one's for you.
Terry, sorry, do you live in the 1960s?
Yeah, it's like Benjamin Button, basically. I go through a portal and I end up somewhere completely different.
That's not Benjamin Button.
He travels about, doesn't he? Old, young.
That's not Benjamin Button.
Skin
That's
changing.
Back to the Future.
Oh, shit. Same sort of
That's
film.
Terminator. That's Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, that was it. I was thinking of Hot Tub Time Machine.
I knew it. Those are
My
the three
favourite film.
big time travel films.
Famously.
I don't think Hot Tub Time Machine gets the credit it's due. I've never seen it.
No, I
though,
think it gets
so
the credit
I
it's
couldn't
due.
tell.
I think it well gets the credit it's due. There's a reason why that. But yes, see it again. Go pick up a copy of the magazine. Head to the website.
I actually built a time machine this week.
Oh, it's another casual week. This is what happens when Jake doesn't go on a bus to Margate. Yeah. He's allowed to go on with his actual activities here.
Well, what I did is I thought to myself, all these time travel films have famously a different method of traveling back in time.
Yeah.
So what I did was I built a robot designed to kill. Made
Just
it look
a normal
like Arnold.
week then.
Yeah,
just
made
a
it look
normal
like
week.
Jamie, please stop interrupting. I made it look like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
And then I put it in a hot tub, which was inside a DeLorean. And then I drove that until I hit 88 miles per hour. Right. And nothing happened.
Nothing happened, okay.
No. And then I found another way to travel back in time, and I did that instead. So I went back to the site of my flat 3,000 years ago, and I buried the dork mailbag. And then I came back to our time, and I realised it was now under a whole block of flats.
Right. Oh, because the flats weren't there 3,000 years ago, just to clarify.
They weren't.
They weren't.
So
okay.
I didn't think about this. So it was actually under the flats. And I couldn't actually get permission because my flat, which I rent anyway, is a leasehold.
Right.
So even the landlords don't have the freehold of the land. So that would be the council, and they weren't keen on me digging it up. So what I've done
For any renters
is I've
out
just
there.
forged 2 letters in the mailbag.
Right.
And we're just going to say that those are the ones that are under the flats. So maybe maybe they will be.
So one day we might see those letters. But
And I'm assuming they, like the ones that I have very skillfully forged,
yes,
will be, for example, from Rebecca from Acton.
Here's hoping.
And Rebecca says, "Hi, Dork."
Hello.
From below the flats. Rebecca says, "If it rains but it isn't cold, what do you wear?"
It's the great dilemma of the British summer, isn't it? The downpour, what you wear. It depends. I feel like if you're at an event, you usually go for like a poncho that you hastily purchase.
Yeah, they're awful, though, aren't they?
And it's the problem with the lower half of the body as well, like the shorts and the. Yeah, I find
even the poncho, because it clings to you. You end up getting water inside it somehow.
Yeah, I almost feel like temperature is the greatest risk there. Like, when it's raining, the chances of you drowning from the rain is incredibly, incredibly slim, whereas the chances of you sweating, very high. So what I would say is put your body temperature first in that situation. Wear some shorts.
Because there's going to be liquid either way. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, yeah. I would rather have rainwater on me than copious amounts of sweat dripping from me. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, you don't need that, do you? Top half is tricky. Yeah, probably poncho. I'd go for, or is a good one. Wear like a short shirt. Whatever you prefer, whatever is in fashion these days. And what about those like umbrella hats that you perch on your head?
Well, they're normally not big enough, are they? You need a wider umbrella hat.
Get one with a good, diameter on it, or girth. Yeah, if you go to the store and ask, what's your girthiest rainbow hat?
They'll put you in touch with an expert.
Yes,
an
of
expert
course.
Umbrella.
Yes, of course. Who looks familiarly like Vin Diesel, I've found.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting
He knows
stuff.
what he's doing. So obviously
Something to think about there.
Something to think about. But yeah, keep cold, but don't get dry. Just weather. Stay inside.
Yeah.
That's good advice, right?
I just wear a pair of waders and walk around on my hands all day. Each to their own, I guess.
Like a duck.
Yeah, like ducks. Ducks walk around on their hands all day,
yeah,
famously.
famously.
This next letter, which may or may not be what we eventually unearth from underneath the block of flats in which I live, is from Duncan from Kidderminster.
Kidderminster, great place.
Yep. Sure, why not? Duncan says, "Hi, Dork. What's the most remote place that you would go to for a festival?"
Oh, I guess like specific. I guess their location, or
as opposed to what?
Well, no. Is it like? Do you want me to create this kind of place? Like it is a mountain on top of a hill.
No, I think a real place. It's got to be a real place.
Real place. God, depends on the lineup.
Well, yeah, it's a good lineup.
Okay, it's a good lineup. Okay, and it's can't see these acts anywhere else. Most remote place. I would go like in the middle of a jungle for that.
But that's not a specific place, is it? That jungle could be in Kew Gardens.
All right. I'll
tell you mine.
Go on. Yeah, you go first. What
Kidderminster. Because I don't know where that is. But I'd go. I'd go there. Me and Duncan.
Like, shout out to all our listeners from Kidderminster. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, you'll be
festival.
There. You'll be there. I don't know. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go as far.
I just looked up Kidderminster.
All right, is it not that far now?
No, I would go there because it's actually pretty close to Birmingham, so not that hard.
Right.
But they've got.
Brilliant.
They've got two museums. They've got two museums in Kidderminster. What do you reckon they are?
Is it like I guess one has to be sort of like the Kidderminster Museum.
No.
Oh, no, it's not.
Both seem to be national museums of import.
God. Is it by the coast? We're not really showing this really well. It's not.
It's just over from Bewdley, if that helps.
Okay.
It's southeast of Quatford.
Well, now I know it completely. Yeah.
Sort of southwest of Kinver.
Is it something like chairs?
Close, actually. One of them is the Museum of Carpet.
So isn't that just carpet, right? Isn't that just?
I guess it's carpet right through the years.
Of course,
it's a carpet right that hasn't been refurbed in a while.
They've just called it museum.
The other is the Military Wireless Museum.
What very specific type of museum there? Military Wireless. Wow, that must be quite a modern museum. I would go to Kidderminster. I think I wouldn't go somewhere like properly in the sticks in like the Russian wilderness. Do you know what I mean? I think I'd leave that.
I agree. But if you went to Kidderminster, what if you just accidentally ended up in the Museum of Carpet? They've got workshops, events, and a gift shop. It's got 4.9 out of 5.
Just want to flag the Carpet Museum in Kidderminster are not sponsors of the show, but they can be. Just give us a shout.
Colin has put excellent little gem of a museum. Don't miss it.
Well,
where's it going? Where's it going, Colin?
It's on tour. It's on tour. It's like a circus. It goes from town to town,
taking their carpet samples with them.
Yeah. I'm sure it's a great museum, and I'm sure Kidderminster is a wonderful place, and we appreciate our listeners.
Do you think the floor in the carpet museum is carpet?
It's got to be.
No, because then, right, like if you went to the Natural History Museum and they had skeletons on the floor, you wouldn't want to stand on it, would you?
No, but this is about something that is on the floor. If they didn't have carpet on the floor of the Carpet Museum, I'd be incredibly concerned. Clearly, they don't rate carpets enough. You know?
You'd be incredibly concerned.
Yeah, about the viability of this industry. Be heavily concerned.
Oh, it's come up with mate, there's a carpet museum in Azerbaijan that's shaped like a carpet. That's well cool.
That's actually really...
No, the floor is wood panelled.
Send in for the Kidderminster Museum here.
The floor of the Kidderminster Museum looks like a mix of linoleum and wood floor.
Well, I don't want to know any more then. We have to move on then.
There's a carpet museum in Iran as well, and their carpets are so much cooler.
Who knew there was such an industry? Do you reckon
this Azerbaijani carpet museum, like anyone listening at home, like give it a Google because I'm so impressed by this building.
Yeah, take a moment right now, just go on there. We'll wait. Then come back to us on it.
Let me just send it to you, Jamie. You have a little look at it. That noise is Jamie receiving the Carpets Museum of Azerbaijan.
Oh my
yeah,
Jesus.
That's fucking good, isn't it?
That's sick. That's great. Holy shit. Fuck.
So to answer your question, Duncan, I'd go to Azerbaijan.
I would go to Azerbaijan if they're putting on a festival at that museum. Oh, Jesus. Bet the upkeep's a nightmare, though. Imagine
I bet they get loads of leaves trapped in that bit. You know, in the little curve.
Yeah.
The little dip.
Someone's hoovering up there, just getting them out.
Got to get the attachment out for that, haven't you?
Yeah, that's always a nightmare.
I never understand on the Hoover. You know when you press the button on the Hoover bit and the little brush comes down?
Yes, yeah.
What's that for? Is that
it's
for
to dig
carpet?
Out. Yeah, I think it's for carpet.
I never know whether it's for carpet or for not carpet. Yeah. I always forget which is which.
I end up just panicking and going between the two usually.
Yeah, basically.
I think the one down is meant to dig up extra, you know.
Well, you could do it in strips and then it would end up looking like a football pitch.
Because you would want that, of course.
I don't know if you'd want it. I don't know. You could be a big football fan. Football carpet. Anyway.
I don't have a garden, but look,
Thanks for your letters, guys. Always appreciated.
Always appreciated. I'm glad we could help. As always, send them in to us.
Please do.
Find us on socials, obviously. DMs.
Not TikTok. I think we're too old for that.
Yeah, no. Well, I have a TikTok.
You do. I think the thing with having a TikTok as a magazine is you kind of don't really have much to. There's not really much you can do with a magazine when you're filming it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You don't want to see behind the scenes of this.
No, you don't.
True, like, oh my God, war
It's a
zone.
real mouldy carpet.
Yeah, a lot of juggling going on. That's all I'm going to say. And juggling knives. Shall we move on, Jake, to some music news?
Yes, please.
Landing in our world. Jake, once again, The Weeknd is back.
Yeah. Oh,
he is
but
back
it just happened
again. He's returned with a brand new track already. It's called "Take My Breath."
Already.
Well, because last year, The Weeknd put out "After Hours," went down very well, bangers galore. You know, blinding lights.
He hasn't been able to tour, has he? So,
well, here you
back
go.
On it.
You've got to the crux of the issue here. He's had the time, and he's gone. Well, I might as well just make some more bangers. And so he's done it.
What else is he going to do? He lives in Canada.
What are you trying to say? There's nothing to do in Canada. There's a lot to do in Canada. There's
not in lockdown.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. I'll give you that.
I don't know why I specified Canada. Really, not really much to do anywhere in lockdown. Well, it's cold as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very cold, to be fair. And this song will definitely, this song will definitely warm you up. This song is like, I can only describe it as it's
an instant disco pop classic.
It's like a chest hair. Like a strong chest hair.
One of those ones that pokes through a t-shirt.
Yeah. It's not messing. Like, it's not messing around. It is like, you know, like necklaces and bracelets. It's diamonds. It is like when you go to a regional club night and there's a bunch of those like Technicolor dance floors knocking about. It's that.
Of course.
It fucks, is what I'm trying to say.
None of those things you just mentioned fucked.
You clearly have not been to the Kidderminster Oceana on a Thursday night.
Oh, if only. You know nothing about Kidderminster. The vibe I got from that town was not Oceana at all.
I always knew that we would...
I think Oceana have now gone under. The one in Brighton is now a Prism.
Yeah,
yes.
It's Prisms now. I love that is where we've gone with The Weeknd. This song, big banger. What do you reckon, Jake? It's a hit.
Yes, all right.
It's all right. And with that, this is The Weeknd. Take My Breath.
On the edge, her fantasy is okay with me. Then suddenly, baby says, take my breath away and make it last forever, babe. Do it now or never, babe. Take my breath away. Nobody does it better, babe. Bring me closer. Want me to hold on to your tight. You brought me close, I felt the heat between your thighs. You're way too young to end your...
It's all right.
You take my breath away.
Take my breath away. Other songs, but not that one. That was The Weeknd. He's back. He's not messing about.
Jamie, you hate this podcast, don't you?
Yeah, with every fibre of my being.
Don't worry, there's a new one.
Oh,
it's coming.
Nice.
You can listen to that instead.
Great.
It's by Charlie.
Yes, of course, famously. That sounds like pain coming through your mouth there.
What would it be?
It's So actually,
right,
it's that.
Charlie,
do you think that's what it is?
It must be.
Oh.
Let's not look into it anymore. Charlie XCX has announced a podcast. It's called Best Song Ever. It'll be a BBC Sounds podcast.
Ooh, very nice indeed.
I don't really listen to podcasts. Bit of a busman's holiday, you know.
Well, you're really selling it here.
No, when come on, you know, if you make sausages all day, you're not going home and having bangers and mash, are you?
Thank you, everyone, for listening, by the way.
Hey, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, right, have you ever if you ever speak to a chef, after a long shift, they're getting a takeaway, all right?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
After making this podcast, I've lost all interest in other ones, because I assume they're all as terrible as this one is.
Yeah.
But this one probably isn't.
Yeah, we're kind of taking the hit, if you will, for for your sins. So you're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. This sounds interesting, though. Charlie XCX. Just Charlie XCX continuing to do everything.
Also this podcast, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, just to go back to this, it says it's going to begin a 20-episode run.
Gee, 20?
That's a lot for someone that actually has other stuff to do.
Yeah, who's a pop star who, has, probably will have an album out in about 2 weeks out of nowhere. But also doing this. It's exciting stuff. Best song ever.
So it's going to be the songs that are perfect. So she's going to have guests on, pretty high profile guests, like Bieber Doobie, Mark Ronson, Tove Lo, Christine the Queens, Caroline Polachek.
Nice.
And it's going to be the songs that they think are perfect for different situations. So like you'd say like best track to start a party, and they just discuss that and pick one.
He's just done, isn't it?
Yeah, much easier than ours.
Much easier than ours. Great. Glad we can drop that in.
Sorted that.
Yeah. Go and listen to that. Sounds really interesting. So
But listen to it after you've listened to this.
Of course, yeah. And also, when you go and listen to that, tell them that we sent you. Because come on, we want to look good.
We're big in the game. They'll know.
They'll know. They'll know us. They'll
see their listeners shoot up from this endorsement of their work.
For always,
like Caesar in the Colosseum. Play a track, I guess.
Yeah, listen to a track. You mentioned there Christine and the Queens is going to be a guest on the show.
I did. Yeah, I did mention that.
Funny enough, Charlie XCX and Christine and the Queens already have a song, so we can play that.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the reasons that they're doing it, because they're sort of known as having it, you know?
Yeah. This is much like our careers after Charlie XCX's podcast lands, gone.
What do we keep when the water runs? Why do we love if we're so mistaken? Why do we leave when the chase is done? Don't touch me in here, I'm already gone, baby. Why do we keep when the water runs? Why do we love if we're so mistaken? Why do we leave when the chase is done? Don't touch me in here, I'm already gone.
I always thought of it pronounced sort of like a gone.
You always lean towards these the Americanized
Look, the cowboy era
is very much alive.
A rich scene.
It's very much alive, clearly.
Also, because all the accents in the cowboy films are so ridiculous, you're not offending anyone by doing one, because no one actually sounds like that.
Yeah, it's too far gone. It's too far gone.
But I just don't believe anyone's ever sounded like that, really. You know? Sometimes
disputing
you watch
history.
them and you think... You're disputing history. You think Westerns were like documentaries.
yeah, famously, right?
Oh, Clint Eastwood must be ancient. This is from the 1880s.
Do you know my favourite part of those Westerns? When they would get into like a duel and it would be like, bang, bang, you're dead.
Yep.
Much like some more news that has come out this week.
Yeah.
Carl Barat famously of Dirty Pretty Things and the Libertines. Don't know why I led with Dirty Pretty Things.
Well, famously of Carbarat and the Jackals.
Famously, he has announced some truly incredible news. He is going to be opening a brand new cafe in Margate.
Okay. And I presume he'll be doing all of the cooking himself if he's opening the cafe, right?
Well,
he wouldn't get a chef in to maybe do all of the actual work, would he?
Well, thankfully, probably for everyone, Gizzy Erskine, chef and restaurateur, will be coming in and opening it with him. It's going to be called Love Cafe, Jake.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Shout out Ringo. And yeah, it's like another part of the Libertines slowly taking over Margate, basically.
I just say, I do take issue with Barat's quote here. Where he says, "There's something in the air. Margate is so beautiful. It's close to London. It's still relatively cheap. It's a bit like Shoreditch before Foxtons moved in." Have you recently been to Margate, Jamie?
Not for like a couple of years. Well, Jake, famously, you were there, so tell me.
It takes over an hour to get there from London.
Right.
Shoreditch is literally in London.
In London.
And what is it, like 10 minutes walk from Liverpool Street?
Yes.
I got on a coach at Liverpool Street and went to Margate, and it took 2 hours to get there. And the trains stop at about 10:30. So I appreciate Margate. I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good town. I'm from a seaside town myself. I appreciate, nice sandy beach there. I don't have that. Good stuff going on. I get that. But all these people that are saying, like, hey, it's like the new Shoreditch. It's like, well, no, because if you live there, you just have to live there.
This is coming from someone, a regular. This is coming from a regular, ladies and gentlemen. This is someone who goes there. He's been there recently. He's
I'm
aware.
just saying, like, you're not waking up in Margate and going, like, oh, I might nip into the South Bank, see what's going on there. That's a big day.
It's not quite like that, is it? It's not quite like that.
Like, no one is living in Brighton saying, like, oh, Brighton's like the new Shoreditch. It's so close to London. And Brighton is closer to London than Margate
famously.
is.
Yes. How do you feel about just a little bit more information on Love Cafe? Obviously, the Libertines open the Albion Rooms, the hotel down there. So this is like their next step. This cafe overlooks the beach. That'll be quite nice, won't it?
Oh, that is nice.
That'll be quite nice. It's they're going to be serving up proper sandwiches compared to the fake ones. These include. Just want to give you a few of these. So there's like an egg mayonnaise sandwich. Classic deli Reuben. Here's one for
nice,
you.
Yeah.
Sandwich of roast beef, beetroot, horseradish, watercress, ready salted crisps, and Bovril mayo. How do you feel about that, Jake?
Couple of issues.
Hit me.
Don't like horseradish.
Yeah, it's a bit much, isn't it?
But I think
tangy.
even if you do like horseradish, very overwhelming. That's why you have like roast beef and horseradish, and that's it, right?
Yes.
So I think you're going to lose the beetroot there. The cress would go nicely, I think.
Nice. Nice.
I mean, I don't eat beef either. Not because I don't like it, just environment, bad vibes.
Cool.
But so the beef, the horseradish, the cress, fine. The Bovril mayo, if it's mayo with a hint of Bovril, I mean Bovril's beef, right?
Yes. So beef mayo, basically.
So that's actually helping the beef fight back against the horseradish.
Right, yeah.
That makes sense. What doesn't make sense to me, Bovril very salty.
Yeah.
Beef can be a bit salty. You don't need the crisps in there.
Yeah, take that, Gizzy
I
Erskine, famous restaurateur.
I genuinely think that sandwich, I don't know what the beetroot's adding, but I'm happy to be proven wrong on that.
Yeah.
But I think that sandwich without the crisp would probably be quite a nice balance. It would be a strong taste.
Yes.
But a nice balance. That's what I would say. As a man who over lockdown has made many odd sandwiches, that's my take.
That is definitely my take. Would you like to see any other artists open up their own sort of cafes, following on from Carl's move here?
Yeah, I mean, Carl's opened a cafe here, but he's not doing it.
Oh, here we go. Now we're getting into it. He might be serving the coffee. We don't know. He hasn't said anything.
I'd like to see Ringo opening a peace cafe next door. That'd be nice.
that'd be really
I
wonderful.
get what Calbarat's doing here, but I do think that
It's
maybe
building on what he's been doing down there as well.
But you know, I feel like if you're opening a cafe, I don't know if you need a restaurateur and chef. Like,
it's artistic, you know. These are proper sandwiches.
This feels like it's going to be pricey to me.
Yeah, it does feel like it's going to be pricey.
Which I don't agree with in a cafe.
Right, yeah. You want the like £5 set meal one at the very
you know, that kind of stuff. It's one of the last bastions of like, you know, cheap food you can get out. Like, you know what I mean? Because for lunch you end up going to a big chain. I think the only properly cheap, independent, like classically English stuff left is fish and chips and fry-ups. Don't ruin them.
I've got a few. Just want to quickly run through before we play a track, and we're going to be joined by Maya after this.
We are. Yes.
Got a few here. Just want to hear your thoughts. Can't stand Miyacchiato now. How do you think that would work in the shop? Do you think that'd be all right?
What?
Music when the latte go out. That could be quite good. Happy with that one?
I really don't agree with this.
Did you enjoy
as a concept?
Did you enjoy "You're My Waterloo" from their latest album? Well, try "You're My Watercress and Egg Sandwich."
No, I quite like that one. That's pretty good.
Don't look back into the Sunday roast.
Or don't look back into the sun-dried tomatoes and pesto.
Equally as brilliant. And the last one I have is "What Became of the Likely Baps."
Oh, don't know about that.
We'll be joined by Maya after this.
God, you're not even giving me a chance here. You've taken all the good ones there.
Well, this is it.
Honestly. You're going to go off and talk to Maya, and I'm just going to be sat here trying to think of them and failing.
We'll be I'll look to pick that up after our chat with Maya. This is The Libertines, because ultimately opening a cafe is a time for heroes.
Bill Bones knows what I really knows is eating. She's chewing me up, it's not right for young lungs to be coughing up blood. And it's all in my hands, and it's all up the walls. Saw the stale chips are up and the hope stakes are down. It's all these ignorant faces that bring this town down. And aside and sunken with pride, well, I pass myself down on my knees. Yes, I pass myself down on my knees. Now tell me, what can you want? You've got it all.
And that was some news. We don't know what that news was, but it was news. As you can tell, this is recorded at a different time. Okay, listener, we're trying to make this work. We're trying to balance around. Jake has now left us. Don't know where he's gone. He's just said, "I've had enough," and he's left. Hopefully, he comes back. If not, it'll be fine, though, because we're joined right now by a very special guest, joined by the amazing Maya. Maya, how are we feeling? How are we doing? Welcome to the show. How are things?
Great, thanks. Yeah, good. I'm just hanging out in my personal prison cell in Sydney right now.
Amazing. See, now I've got immediately the image that it is literally almost like a prison cell that you're kind of locked in. Are you kind of making yourself comfortable
I am.
at the moment?
I have made so much food. There is nothing else to do. I just keep cooking. And I can't cook. It's not like I'm a good chef.
So you just kind of you just give it a go, see what happens. Do you have a go-to food, or are you just trying everything at the moment?
I'm trying everything. Usually I just stick to my scrambled eggs and don't touch anything else because, oh my God, I can't cook.
And you're reminded of that very quickly. You're like...
Oh, yes. My housemates refuse to eat anything that I've touched.
Well, that's good. That's a glowing reference, as you can imagine. Has there been a particular disaster that I'm looking at here, or is there is there a reason why, like a clear reason where you're like, okay, that was the start of my housemates being like, no, I'm not having anything you're eating?
Basically, every single time I try to cook, I don't know what it is, but me and recipes just don't mix very well. And I guarantee you I will forget one ingredient every time, and one time it was flour in the muffins, which invented a new kind of toffee at this point.
Yeah. You know, this is interesting. It's more of a sugary taste to it.
It was so strange, but I definitely ate it out of spite. I was like, it's not that bad, guys.
Yeah, that's it. At that point, you've committed, haven't you? You have to be like,
Definitely.
I'm eating the whole thing. Like, you're clearly wrong here. It's not me. It's you being wrong here. Well, I fully rate it. I now expect some sort of crazy experiments, maybe to take out with you on tour at some point. Maybe
yes.
I'm sure everyone would appreciate just, halfway through the show, anyone want a snack? Just whack it out the oven. Look,
I'll just
giving
bring a
ideas.
portable little sandwich press and see what I can do with that.
So I hope you like bread and whatever this is. I'm not sure what's come out of it. But,
Something I found on the green room floor.
Yeah, and now it's yours. Enjoy. Thank you for coming to the show. You can buy merch in the corner. It's always appreciated. But otherwise, we're doing well. We're doing well. Obviously, we are recording this in advance, but by the time everyone is listening to this, Don't Kiss Your Friends, your debut EP is out in the world. How does it feel at this moment, just on the cusp of it all coming out? Like, how's that feel? Is that is it a bit surreal? Like, how does that feel for you?
Yeah, it's definitely weird. I'm so used to just saying a bunch of shit into a void and then no one ever hearing it. So it's pretty nice knowing that it's finally going to go somewhere.
Yeah. It's together now. It's actually going to come out. People are going to listen to it. That's a reality now. You can't escape it now. Unless something very drastic happens in the next few weeks in between this chat and you listening to it, everyone.
I just get really bad food poisoning and die.
Which, look, I'm not saying is likely, but the food element is definitely there. But like, you must feel like after all this time, does it feel a bit? Are you nervous about it coming out? Or do you feel kind of like, right, I just want to get going with everything? Is that kind of how you feel at the moment?
Yeah, I think the nervous element is gone in the sense of what I'm worried that people think about it, because I've just so far outgrown the person that I was when I was writing this music.
Yeah.
So it's more nerve-wracking just thinking like, oh, what if I don't live up to certain expectations or, what people expect of me. But I think it's just more about just finally getting that music out and having more of a presence in the industry, I think.
Yeah. Just getting out there. It must be good as well as, kind of like, obviously talk about like reaction as well. Like, how's it been kind of seeing people react to kind of the music that you've kind of been putting out there? Has that been like, has that been quite a weird experience putting these songs out there? Especially if they're songs that are like incredibly personal to you as well. Like, how has that been to kind of see people respond in the way that they have? Because obviously it's been an amazing response, it feels like, looking from here anyway. Yeah,
it's been really cool just having people actually like it.
That's the level. Just, oh, you like it? Okay.
You like it? Yeah,
we'll take that. Thank you very much.
So yeah, having people relate to it or be like, oh no, I sent my friend your song and now we're dating. Like, stuff like that is just like so sweet.
Yeah. Does this mean you're going to have to turn up to like potentially a load of different weddings now? Is that?
I really hope so.
Yeah, I really hope so.
That's what will boost my ego. I'll be like, I did this. I've matchmaker.
As they're walking down the aisle, just like, no, you're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. Just shaking hands.
I'll just start singing the karaoke version of Apricots. Just for you.
And they're like, look, we didn't ask for this, but look, just let Maya do it. Just let her go for it. Just don't. We're not going to
3 restraining orders already.
Yeah. I can't go to certain areas of the country anymore, but hey, I have a responsibility. It's gone okay. Well, that's great. And it must be. Is it more of like a, especially with you with the music and kind of how it all came together? Because I believe, am I right in thinking kind of you've only really been putting music out for almost like just over a year or so? Is that right? Like, I guess what was the I don't know, kind of for lack of a better term, the kind of like boost that went, right, I'm going to start putting music out there. Like, was there a moment you were like, I want to do this. I want to go for it.
I've been writing music for like from like since I can remember. But recording and writing professionally, I've been doing for like 5 years now. I think maybe a bit more. And it was honestly like me just basically poking my manager for months, if not years, being like, come on,
go on,
can we do it now?
on.
Can we do it now? And he was very adamant. Literally, he was very, very adamant on being like, no, we'll wait till you're, out of high school, so you're actually prepared to. And I just didn't understand what he was talking about. I was like, no, fuck you. I can do this.
You're like, I want something to do here. I need to do something here.
Exactly.
Have you been to high school? It's not, it's pretty
It's
boring.
not it.
No, it's not it. Jesus. But it came out, and obviously, like you say, kind of like that moment where you started releasing stuff as well. Like, was it a case of you kind of like immediately got that reaction? Was it something that you were just like, oh wow, people like what I'm doing now?
No, it was pretty slow.
Yeah.
But it was more of a. I used to do a lot of YouTube stuff, so putting up music in the beginning was kind of like, oh, she's just another one of those girls that's trying to do the whole music thing. And I'm like, oh, I've been doing this for so long. Like, I didn't just decide out of nowhere I wanted to be a musician.
Yeah, but it's not spur of the moment thing. I've been thinking about this for a while, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
You get comments just like, look, great that you're doing music, but could you go back to the old YouTube videos, please?
Oh my god. Oh my god. So, like, you've changed. Like, I bloody hope so. I really don't want to be 13 forever.
He's like, I really hope in some way, that I've changed a little bit. That'd be really great. That'd be really great. But it feels like, all in all, though, very, very supportive. And, for you with this kind of like EP, is this kind of very much a snapshot, like in terms of songwriting, of like a certain time in your life? Like, does it feel like you can look at it and be like, right, I know exactly where I was at that moment, exactly what I was feeling? Like, is it very much, obviously very personal, but like a very like clear moment in time for you, kind of like that these songs came out of?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I know exactly what I was feeling and where I was at each point of the song, and exactly what I was listening to and what sound I was going for, and, where I kind of was in my maturity levels, and like what lessons I'd just learned are very clear to me when I look at the songs. But it's funny because I have no idea what other people hear when they listen to them. Obviously, they're not going to think like, oh, she must have been exactly 17 years old, just woken up the girlfriend. They're hearing themselves.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's like interpreting it in a new way. Basically, that's kind of like the main. I guess that must be the main hope. I guess all in all, kind of like in the music that you're putting out as well, is that people can take these songs and kind of like put them in their like own surroundings. Like, was that something that you kind of did as well when you listened to music? As I guess growing up and still now, I guess.
Oh, always. You'd hear a song come out and there'd be a lyric, and they'd be like, oh, there's no way they wrote that about me. They must have. There's no way they knew I was feeling exactly like that.
They must know. This rock band from the south of America must know how I was feeling.
From the 80s. Must
from
know.
The 80s, at 3:30 in the morning as I sat outside my flat. They knew. It's an incredible writing. It's an incredible moment.
Exactly.
Do you have like I guess like, I mean, like, for you, goals and ambitions in terms of what you do as an artist as well? Like, do you have that kind of like in mind, or are you very much someone who's like, do you know what, I just want to kind of, enjoy songwriting, creating these songs, getting out there, playing to people, and as long as I have that, that's all that matters? Or are you someone who's like, do you know what, I want to go and do this, I would love to go and do that? Like, do you kind of have that in mind, or is it still very much for you like, let's just get this music out there?
Yeah, it's kind of a bit of both. I find it really hard to project kind of like what the future will look like. Or one of my friends the other day was like, so where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I was like, thanks for that.
You're like, I don't even, like, 5 minutes is a bit too much for me.
Literally. So unpredictable. But, you know, everyone has those things where I'm like, oh, you know, if I could play Lollapalooza, that'd be insane. Or like any of those kind of festivals with like, you know, mainly American artists and like lineups, stuff like that, and stuff in the UK. Just like, I really love Australia and I really treasure everyone here. But like being able to do things outside of here confidently rather than, you know, kind of standing in the corner and being like, I am such a small little Australian girl. I don't know what I'm doing here. I should go back to the beach.
Yeah. It's like, I'm from Australia. Hi.
I feel like people just look at me and see Uluru. They're just like...
You're just like, please.
Yeah, I'm like, I come from a city.
Yeah,
there are not kangaroos in my backyard.
I can assure you clearly that is not the case. It's not the case, my lord. Well, that's obviously big things to look forward to, and obviously a great debut EP out, which is out now. Go listen to it, everyone. Do it now. You can listen to it anywhere, everywhere. Let's have a listen to one such track from the EP. Central Station, which I'm a big fan of. Big fan of this. So let's have a listen. This is Maya with Central Station.
Her face, my mind, I'm in someone else's eyes, and maybe we'll meet in another life. Everything is falling into place but you. Maybe we should live on this train for good. Could you think about sticking around? Maybe things could fall into place with you. I wore my heart out on my sleeve. I wanna be yours.
And there it is, Central Station. A tune, may I just say. Big tune. You can put that, you know, in any sort of releases you put out from here on. Just a tune. As you can see, we're really good with words on this show. Really good with words. We've come to that part of the show now. Some call it a highlight, Maya. Some call it a low point. So it's going to be interesting to see where you fall on the rating scale. But every week we play a game with our special guest, and this week. Because you have a song called Time I Love to Waste, we thought we'd play a game of what to do with time I love to waste.
Yes.
Yes, that's it.
Words on this show.
That's it. Just yes. Confirmed. Not great. Just yes. What we're going to do is we're going to allow. So the scenario is you've got a few hours left on the planet. You know, only a certain amount of time within that. I'm going to name a range of different scenarios, different activities, and I just want to know: would you use some of that time on those activities, or would you be like, no, I've got better things to do. I don't need to do that. I'm going to leave it. So big stuff here.
This makes me think of that Simpsons episode where he's got like the last few hours to live, and he's like robs the bank.
Yes. I mean, that's it. We steal everything we've got from the Simpsons on this show. That's all we've got. That's all we've got.
I think life does that as well.
Yeah.
God's just like, maybe I'll make that actually happen.
Yeah, it's like, maybe let's give it a go. I'm glad to know that we are, you know, in line with life at the very least.
Yes.
Some call it the end, but some call it the hope. Let's start with a big one here. How do you feel? So bowling, going bowling. You've only got a few hours left. Are you a fan of bowling in general, Maya, or are you like, nah, give or take it?
I think it always sounds more fun than it is every single time.
I agree.
It's so much waiting and sweating in your little shoes.
You have to take the shoes off. You have to get these kind of slidey things on. You then have the nightmare of like, maybe I could just wear these out all the time. And then you think, no.
Absolute embarrassment of every single shot just going straight along the side.
It's the noise it makes for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not even like it just goes off to the side. You can hear it literally go gunk gunk, and you're like, Yeah, and everyone else is like, another one down the sides, is it? All right, mate. Yeah, sure. Yeah. You're like, I don't want that. Also, what I find with bowling is, unless you are good at it, like the novelty of it wears off very quickly. You know, if you've got like a full game of it, within like 2 or 3 goes, you're like, all right, I get the idea now.
Like, thanks, time to get absolutely mortified again.
Yeah, yeah. I really appreciate that. When you have to bring like the assistant like on, like slide it, just
the children's like slide down thing.
Yeah. When you're in a queue with what appears to be like a 4-year-old waiting for the assistant to use, that's when you realise maybe it's not a good idea.
You want to do that on a date? Yeah, baby. Let me take on a date. Hold up. Let me use the assistant.
2 seconds. I'll be back with you in a sec. And all you can hear is just it quite squeaking along the floor, just like. Because then no matter what you do from there, you're not going to look good. Like
no.
It's like, oh, I knocked down 7 pins, and they're like, yeah, but you know, you did use the roll.
Whatever it is, the slidey thing.
Yeah, it's not the one. So is that very clearly a no? You're going to pass.
I reckon that's a pass.
You're going to pass. It's just wasting time at that point, isn't it? Especially, you know, just wasting it. And you don't want to embarrass yourself, you know. You've got a few hours left. You don't want to embarrass yourself in that time. The next one, so obviously a few hours left in the world. How about clearing out some bins with your favourite person in the world? So this is the only time, as the hours dwindle, you can be with your favourite person in the world, but it is clearing out bins. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'd say yes to that.
Yeah,
you can do anything with your favourite person, and it'll be fun.
Anything? Is there something though that might be a bit too much? Like, you know, if you have to, I don't know, clear up dog poo in a park, would you still do it?
I'd do that. Maybe nothing involving dead people, but other than that,
line.
that's definitely the line there. That's questionable.
Just want to put it out there. When I said anything, I'm going to avoid.
I will not cover up in my.
Well, quickly, it's all right. Well, who knows? Everyone here can keep a secret, right? Yeah? Good. So clearing out the bins, you're more than game for. You're more than game for your favourite person in the world. That's lovely.
Yeah, I'll do that.
That's nice. It's nice. You can catch up, even if it is with waste around you. Even if it is with waste. How do you feel about life drawing? Have you ever done life drawing as a whole?
No. What is that?
So life drawing is when usually you kind of like are in a circle, all with kind of like some like, I don't know what can be described as like some paper and some like canvases, and you're drawing basically a human, so a naked human usually is life drawing. So it's kind of like everyone's in a circle staring at this naked person and then drawing that naked person.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, would you go for that, or do you feel like that'd be a bit too of a weirdly like uncomfortable situation there?
Do I know that these are my last few hours on Earth?
Yes, you are very conscious of the fact that you have a certain amount of time left.
I think I would be too stressed to draw, but in a normal circumstance, I would be down for that.
It's just the time that's the issue here.
Yes, I think I'd just be like, here's a stick figure, next thing.
I love that the reason why you've kind of gone maybe not is the artistic craft more than anything. Like, if I've got a few hours left, I want what I'm doing to be of a high standard, and I don't think it would be. And
it's not life drawing.
And it's not life drawing. I don't think I could thrive in that situation. I'm fully behind it. And the quality must continue there. But in a normal circumstance, you'd be up for it. So,
yeah, I'd be interested.
So maybe not the end of the world, but another time. Because clearly there's a choice in this game of that. Apparently. Our next one. Training a hamster to do backflips.
Oh wow.
Would you want that in your last few hours of Earth? Like you're giving back, if you will, because that hamster will continue doing backflips for the rest of its life. Would you enjoy that? Would you enjoy training a hamster to do backflips?
Yet again, feel like it would just make me stressed. Like, I'm a Virgo. I'd just be sitting there like, why can't you do this yet? Why can't you do it?
Just shouting at the hamster.
Screaming at it.
Just screaming. It's like, you're right there. You're right there. It's like this hamster doesn't know how to do a backflip. Just like getting absolutely livid about it. So again, we're falling into the scenario, isn't it? It's the patience and the time needed to go into training a hamster to do a backflip. Would you? But I
feel like I could do that if it's something that I wasn't meant to be doing. If that makes any sense. Like if I was meant to be doing something else, and I just went, I'm gonna train this hamster to do a backflip. Then yes. I would do it.
Yeah, if it's like, right, I need you just to fill in these forms, please, and you're like, I could do that, or I could teach this hamster how to do a backflip, exactly. But I'll be frank with you, that sounds good. So if, as a distraction from another job, that's where you feel like you'll end up teaching a hamster how to do a backflip.
Oh, exactly.
I love the idea that in this scenario, and it's the scenario that I've created, so it's only me to blame here, that you are somewhat of a expert in teaching animals how to do backflips as well. That's what I'm a big fan of. You're like, I've got this covered here. I can easily do that. I can teach tricks to this hamster. So have you ever had a hamster as a pet?
No, I wanted one at one point. I had rats for a bit. I had two pet rats.
Did they do any backflips or any tricks? Or
no, one of them did get an ear infection and walked funny, but apart from that, couldn't really teach.
Claiming that. Well, there's a little bit of a swagger about this guy's walk. I think
she could make some interesting body movements because of the lack of balance.
Like some sort of street dancer, just some sort of like body bopping. I'm fully in. So hamster backflips, time and the stress of it. But obviously, if you're forced to do something else that's a bit more boring, you're in.
Yeah.
Next one, learning to surf. Number one,
I feel like that'd be fun.
Yeah, number one, I guess this is it. Number one, do you know how to surf first of all? And number two, would you be up for that? You'd be up a bit of like a little activity, hitting the waves in the last few hours.
Yeah, being out in the sun would be nice. That's a nice way to spend the end of your life.
Yeah, just like breathing it in, breathing in the water. Are you a fan of the beach as a whole? Or
yeah, I'm a big beach fan.
Big beach fan. See, I feel like it's slightly different in Australia to here in the UK because the beach over here kind of just represents a lot of stones and a lot of really cheap food more than anything else.
Yes.
It's not. I'm getting that it's two different vibes to obviously in Australia. Obviously, whenever you do come over to the UK, do have a look at the beaches here. My only advice is maybe stay away from the piers. They're a bit dodgy.
Oh, okay.
But have a little bit of fun. But you would spend that time learning how to surf, getting on the waves, enjoying the last few hours.
Yeah, definitely.
Strong. We have a couple more for you. This is how we're planning the end of your life. So I'm glad that we can do this on this show. Doing the washing up with your least favourite celebrity. So clearing up. So imagine you've just attempted to cook again, and you have your celebrity, like your least favourite celebrity, knocking about, but it is a celebrity nonetheless. Would you be doing the washing up with them? Is that a nice little story for you to have as you head into whatever happens next?
I just feel like I wouldn't know what to do with myself. Like I just wouldn't.
Well, the conversation, would that be the line that's too far?
Like, could you imagine being like, so, how's things? Like,
Could you pass the washing up liquid, please? Really appreciated. Would you take the time if you're a least favorite save just to confront them more than anything? You'd just be like, "What about that? That was a bit. Shouldn't have done that." That's the time to do it.
That's so funny. I don't even know if I have a least favorite celebrity. I'm not like passionate enough about hating people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone that I actually really don't like.
So would you say you would do the washing up with most celebrities in that case? Is that a potential future, YouTube series, if you will?
That's actually really funny. That'd be a really good series, actually.
Yeah, I'm just saying, these are ideas you can go for. YouTube,
oh my god, it could be a gossip channel called Cleaning Shit Up.
Yes, here we go. YouTube, if you are listening, we do take sponsorship. We'll obviously split it. We need that situation to happen. Just in general, washing up though. If you're in the last few hours of your life, are you thinking, "Let me leave this place clean," or are you like,
"Oh no"? I'm like, leave that to someone else.
No one's gonna have a go at me.
I'm dead. I've already suffered. You can suffer now.
I've already suffered. Leave me be. Oh, amazing. On a similar hype, would you spend some of the last few hours baking a beautiful cake that you won't have time to eat, but you can give to your best friend?
Aww. I yet again don't think they'd want to eat anything I've touched, but
that was my next line of question was, but we've heard about the food situation, so I'm not sure about it. But if you could make an amazing cake, would you go for it? But you wouldn't be able to have any of it.
No, I love that. I wouldn't want to eat anything I made anyway. But like being able to put like a nice little message on it, like, "I'm sorry, I'm dead. You'll be fine."
And this was the last thing that Maya said to us. "Sorry, I'm dead. Here's a cake." It's an amazing moment. Just a real humbling moment. Oh god, amazing. Well, stick around for the cake, basically. Stick around for the cake. It'll be worth it. We have one more, and that is taking a stray dog for a long walk. So, the day is coming to an end. It's, life is closing shop, and you can take this stray dog for a walk, maybe along the beach. Would you go for it? Would that be a nice, peaceful moment for you?
Or that'd be a nice way to end.
Or do you think that would be stressful? Because the dog might be a bit more active than you are in this moment.
No, I think that would be really nice. I would enjoy that.
Yeah, it's a nice little walk along the beach. Very nice. Just joyful. Just joyful. Just kind of had a realization that, like, this is quite a... But for the excitement that is your debut EP coming out, talking about the end of the world was a strong subject line. But I think we can agree that, life is a wonderful thing.
It is. I'm definitely getting my mortality in check right now.
And with mortality, unfortunately, the mortality of our time together on this show has now come to a close. It's a real shame. Thank you for coming on. It's officially you are the second Australian guest that we've ever had on the show, but the first to actually be talking and beaming directly from Australia. So,
sweet. Who was the other one?
The other one is just our mate who lives in London, who's Australian.
Oh, cute.
So,
cute.
That's all. For a second, you're like, I wonder who this could be. It's like, no, it's our mate Liam. Our mate Liam. Who lives in London.
We love a Liam.
We love a Liam.
Sorry, there can only be one Aussie.
Australia approves. The whole nation approves. Mate, it's been a pleasure. It's been a wonderful time. The debut EP, Don't Kiss Your Friends, out now. Buy it, stream it, everywhere. Go for it. It's all going to happen. Of course, welcome back anytime. And to round us out, I think we should listen maybe to like Time I Love to Waste, because we've just spent the last 15 minutes talking about the time that we will never get back, much like this show. So really positive stuff. Really sad stuff. Maya, it's been a pleasure. This is Time I Love to Waste. Catch you soon.
Brown eyes, but her cheeks were pink. Blue hands on your purple skin. We're making a masterpiece, a contrast of feelings. Cut bad with your good intentions. So loud, but I never mentioned. Desperate for your attention. Give me a second. She's the fire on the trees. She's so far out of my league. She's a hurricane, I'm just a breeze. She's the time I love to waste. I'd let the girl live right through my wallet. Give her all my things, empty my pockets. She takes me crying.
And there goes Maya. Incredible stuff. Real
Right,
what
so,
ride?
So, more importantly, Jamie,
You've had time
it's
to
a
think now,
sandwich-
have you?
It's a sandwich with have you ever had a bolognese sandwich? The day after.
I've heard about this, but I can't say I
okay.
personally have one. But yeah,
Okay, well, you might do if it was served in Carbaret's Cafe and called Love on the Dolmio.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, all right.
There we go.
There we
Took me a
go.
while. So many
This is what was
pieces of
happening.
paper thrown in the bin.
This is what happened as we were chatting with Maya. Interesting, yeah, interesting time. Know what she likes to do with the time she likes to waste. Training a hamster to do backflips could be interesting. Yeah.
I didn't hear that because of the pun thing.
You were too busy. You were too busy, locked in.
Sorry.
Incredible stuff. But yeah, cheers to Maya.
Cheers to the freaking weekend.
Exactly.
Drink to that.
EP.
Yeah.
EP is out now. Don't kiss your friends. Pick it up. She's a legend. Wonderful stuff. It's now time, Jake, to move on with our lives. After,
Oh, good.
after
All right,
that.
see ya.
Let's talk about some new music and some new tracks, shall we?
Okay.
Let's
Okay.
dive on in. Let me sort. Shall I kick things off? I'll kick things off.
Well, you already have, so yeah.
While I'm here, Holly Humberstone is back with a brand new track called "Please Don't Leave Just Yet," which has also come with news of her second EP, which I presume which hasn't left the release plant yet. That's to come.
The factory.
Exactly.
EP factory.
That's out on the 5th of November. But yeah, this this track is, let's just tackle the head-on thing, which is that this was co-written with one Matty Healy from the 1975. Mr. Matthew. I just think this song is like the moment, like she seems to be just evolving with every single song. Like we talked when we played The Walls Are Way Too Thin about how it was like really direct, much more direct than something that she's done before. And this feels like another kind of step for that. It's like a natural evolution going on right in front of us, and I think it's just going to pull in more fans because of it. It's got that kind of modern electronic pop sort of feel where there's a lot of like sampling and different beats in there, and maybe that comes from working with someone like Matty Healy, who's obviously done a lot of that with the 1975. But what stands out?
Is that where he's from?
he's from the sampling decks.
Yeah. I always wondered what he did in the band, but the sampling, that makes sense.
That makes it. But yeah, this is like, it's just full of confidence, and it feels like with each single release, she's becoming more of just a star, kind of like in front of our eyes. I like just how, an interesting and different every track is that's coming out, and the EP itself is going to be, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting.
Well, let's give it a spin.
This is Please Don't Leave Just Yet by Holly Humberstone.
I don't wanna need your love anymore. But I just do. I don't wanna need your love anymore. Like I used to. I just do. Maybe I'll find a piece of you in someone else's bed.
Did feel like we were in like some sort of
Man, what
TV
a
show.
talker.
There it is.
Now, another track. This one.
Please,
I can't keep that up.
please.
I can't. I've got a new track from one of my favourite things in life, judging by the tracks I play on the show. A good band with a terrible name. Have you heard of Chubby and the Gang, Jamie?
Certainly have. Yes, certainly have.
So
Good band.
they have released a new song, I Hate the Radio. Bizarrely, for a band that seemed to have been around for about a fortnight, this is off of their second album, which is somehow coming later this month.
They're turning them around, aren't they? They're absolutely
really
going
are.
through it. You know, productivity. You know, that's what you like to see.
These guys are the sort of I'd say the more straightforward punk end of the like post-punk stuff, the shoutier stuff.
Yeah.
This track's a little bit different. I think it's not quite as in your face as other stuff.
Larry.
Yeah, not quite as Larry. Still very good though.
Yes.
So yeah, this is called "I Hate the Radio," and apparently it's about how when you have a breakup, Jamie.
Yes.
You have a certain association between them and a song. So for me, when I was 14, it was Chasing Cars, I believe. No, it wasn't. It was. What's that Hello Goodbye one?
What? Here it goes again.
No. I like where we are when we drive in your car.
Oh my
that one.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah. Luckily, no one's played that song in 15 years.
Thank God. Yeah, so you haven't been kind of like thrown off when you've been just down the pub, and that's kind of kicked in.
Yeah, Lydia, if you're listening, I'm sorry how things ended.
This is not the moment. This is not it. Oh.
Anyway, this song from Chubby and the Gang is about when you finish a relationship with someone, but you have a certain association between them and a song, and that song comes on the radio, and it's like, man, I never want to hear this song again. And then, of course, you get in the car, and it comes on.
Oh, it's still there.
There it is.
I like this song. It feels like it sounds like how you would feel at like 3 a.m. in the morning when you're just like, out on your ass.
Sleeping?
No. If you're like out and about, it's a big night, you're out on your ass.
I go to bed around 9:30, so.
Oh. I don't sleep.
Well, that's where I'm getting enough sleep for the both of us.
My God.
Now, this is Chubby and the Gang with I Hate the Radio.
Wonderful stuff from Chubby and the Gang. Very different. I like that.
Keep your eyes peeled for maybe a little something in an upcoming issue of Dork, okay?
Keep your eyes peeled. Look at that little tease we've done.
Aye.
Wonderful. Let me tease you some more with some more new music. This time it's from BLACKSTARKIDS, who are a band group.
They're a band group.
They're a band group. One of them, newly signed to Dirty Hit. They've got a new track called Juno, which has just come out.
Juno the Muffin Man.
It certainly is. Now, BLACKSTARKIDS, first came to my attention anyway last year when they were putting out like a few different like projects and stuff, and all you could it was just the thing that stands out the most about them is just this kind of like personality, but also this kind of just DIY kind of like aesthetic, which is very much like we're just going to do exactly what we want, go into whatever genre we want, try anything, and just like morph them all together. And the result is a pretty incredible one. And this for me is like the best song that they have done kind of like so far. It's kind of really tight, really sparkly. It kind of keeps flipping between different gears, like the verse and the chorus. It sometimes feels like a nursery rhyme. They chuck that in. It's just really, really exciting, and it's just bursting with like a personality, with like the personality that I don't know that I think I look for anyway when I'm looking for like a brand new band.
I really enjoy this because it does feel really different to just everything else that's around.
Yeah.
which obviously, you know, sometimes that's really bad, but it's good in
But
this case.
in this case, exactly, yeah. It feels
Well,
like
there's two reasons why it doesn't sound like anything else. Either because it's completely horrible, or because it's really fresh and exciting. So luckily,
thankfully,
this is the second one.
thankfully, it's the second one. Yeah, I'm really, really big fan of this, and it kind of felt like with the projects they were putting out last year. I don't know, there was some really good stuff in there, but it kind of felt like they were still trying to work out maybe what they were about. And this feels like, right, they've nailed it. And yeah, really excited. That's kind of the first track coming off a debut album as well. So we've got that to look forward to.
The debut album going very fast and loose with the term there. Oh, those other ones, those were projects.
Do you want to know what the debut album is called, Jake?
It's called...
It's called
Paradise City by Guns N' Roses.
It's not. It's called Puppies Forever.
Oh,
wonderful.
that's nice.
Wonderful. And just like, you know, this track feels like a playful puppy who's just found a puddle. We've all seen that. It's a glorious sight. Oh.
Just play the song, Jamie.
This is Juno by BLACKSTARKIDS.
And I'm always coming last, but that's just what I do. The boy on the moon, got my mom worried sick, cause she scared she gon' lose. The baby boy, cause he dazed and confused, but I feel alive, and I hope you feel it too. Pushing suicide out my mind on the bad days. Used to be a happy kid, I'm back to my old way. Need some other thing to be satisfied. Take not a bad thing, I'm stressing out now.
Lovely stuff.
What a good song.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I think so. I've
Jake,
got
have
a
you got-
career in regional American radio to look forward to. And I've also got a song from Weird Milk.
Hello.
It's called Vienna.
Oh.
It's the lead single from their upcoming EP, We Were Strangers. A lot of EPs and albums coming out. A lot of the stuff we've been talking about recently has been the first from a confirmed album.
Yeah, I'm glad
fun.
that's actually a thing, because we spent probably about 6 months last year being like, well, I bet everyone's just working on stuff. That's right.
There'll be bits
they'll be
coming
back.
out.
They'll be back. So I'm glad that's actually happening. But yeah, this track sounds really, really great. Really
Yeah, I
fun.
really enjoy it. I was quite surprised by how much it stood out to me on like the new releases this week. So I really think with a lead single, especially on an EP, I think you've really got to like impress, because EPs are a weird one. With an album, it's really easy. You buy a copy or you listen to the whole thing and you stick it on. With an EP, I think it's very easy to be like, oh, it's 15 minutes. Like, when am I going to...
Yeah.
You know, I can't put it on a playlist because it's not a single.
Yeah.
And I can't listen to the whole album over a decent amount of time. So I feel like if the EP is anything, if this single is anything to go by, I think this EP is going to be really punchy.
Yeah.
You know, real like statement of intent kind of stuff, which is, I think, really like the perfect thing to do with one, really.
Yeah. They've got this kind of like classic sound in it. Like, kind of like, I don't know, it sounds like you wouldn't be surprised if some of these songs were from like, you know, the 50s, like kind of sort of like classic sounding, long lasting hooks.
50s.
Yeah, you know, clearly, as you know, I'm a big fan of music from the 1950s.
The doo-woppers.
Famously. When I meet up with Jake at a pub, I can't help but doo-wop all over the place.
He can't.
Famously.
He says, when the hell are they going to play the Big Bopper? They haven't played a single track by Bill Haley and the Comets, and we've been in here for half an hour.
What sort of
And then he
establishment are
goes
you
up
running?
And he says, you jive turkey, you get out of here. And he walks out in his double-breasted suit with his hat at a rakish angle.
Rakish angle. That's exactly what happens. And I'll be doing that to this song. Because, yeah, I'm a big fan of this.
Spinning a pocket watch in one hand as he does so. Smoking a cigar.
Famously, that's exactly. If anyone wanted to know what I'm
he's
like,
a character.
he certainly is. Much like this song, which is full of character.
Yes.
Full of character.
Full of it.
Big
to the
fan of
brim.
him. Big fan of
This
Sam.
is Weird Milk with Vienna.
The film went well with the wine before the screen lit dance floor and the Indies dresses of white. I found my chance to the lion. Ignore the look in your eye. We spent our lifetime an angel, a fitting place for goodbye.
nothing to me. It means nothing to me.
Still going. Okay. Gone on too long now, I'd say.
Just a little bit too long, wasn't it?
Yeah, just enough. Let's talk about an album.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about our album of the week. And this week, it's the second album from IDER, who have returned with the emotion that I'm feeling after trying to do that song. Shame is the name of the album.
Yes.
Really, I guess, like, IDER as a whole, I mean, like, that first album when it kept, like, they were one of those bands that were kind of, like, around for quite a while, like, putting out little EPs and stuff, kind of, like, making their mark. You could always find them playing a show in London, it felt, for, like, a certain period of time. But that first album really, really stood out. Were you a fan of IDER first album?
I remain a fan, but I was. Again, it's just that thing. They just felt like they were doing something a little bit different and a little bit, unique. And yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed the album when it came out as well. So good to see that they've released another good album.
Yes,
which is always a bonus, I find.
Yeah, it always helps, doesn't it? I thought they were always like a really good festival act. Like you could put them on in the middle of the day, and it would go down really well with people.
Yeah,
it was just
real
a nice
sort of lazy, sunny act there.
Yeah. There's sort of like calming, kind of like electro pop sort of sound, and it was just like really like the harmonies. Again, all I've done on this show today, I've realised, is just talk about harmonies because I'm the Beach Boys. Clearly,
you are harmonious.
I certainly am. Depends who you ask, to be honest. Yeah. But IDER, really good stuff. Big fan of kind of like that first album, and this second album. Again, it's always that tricky point of once you've kind of like nailed your sound, which I feel like IDER did on that first album. Where do you go from there? Do you have to try and completely like refresh what you're doing, or like do you stick to almost exactly the same? And I kind of feel like with this album, they've kind of, I don't know, there's like a lot more grittiness with it.
Well, yeah, I mean the name of the album is kind of
an indicator.
Clue to the lyrical content. There's a lot of pretty heavy stuff in here. Stuff, there's tracks in here that kind of deal with feelings of like shame, internalized shame, and like not feeling good enough and stuff like that. And it is all really well done, I think. Again, it's that thing we've spoken about before where the message doesn't get in the way of it being a good album, but is also prominent enough that it comes across really well, which I think we were talking about with Self-Esteem with a track recently. It's that thing of like, it's not just a message hammered at you that happens to be in the form of a song. It marries the two really well, I think. And it feels really, really personal as well.
Yeah, it really does. It feels like an album just like incredibly well put together, incredibly well produced and pulled into place. And I just like that they have taken what worked so well and have gone, right, here's how we can tweak it and take it up to new levels. It feels it feels heavier, not just in that kind of like lyrical content you were talking about, but also just in terms of just the sound as well. They've kind of gone, why don't we try and dial that up here, or kind of try different things in that? I think it's really, really exciting, and that it definitely feels like it matches up in some ways with that kind of electro pop sound that's about at the moment that a few bands are trying, but it feels like IDER have kind of like had a head start on that, and it's just like a really, really stunning album. That just from start to finish, it's one of those albums that's just so easy to listen to. Like you can just switch on, and you're not sat there like going through being like, okay, well, there's another track. It all flows.
There's no abrasion between them.
No, it's really, really nice. And that's
you know what is abrasive though.
What is abrasive?
This segue into the track we're about to play. So this is CBB to be sad.
Right.
Bit of tech speak for you there. I believe it means can't be bothered to beaver sad.
That's exactly it.
I assume. This is Off of Shame by IDER. This is CBB to be sad.
I'm so lonely next to your body, knowing that you don't know I feel this bad. Funny how time changes your mind, and you were once the best thing I ever had. Then you roll over and kiss my shoulder.
Wonderful stuff.
Seamless transition.
Yeah. I was wondering how you were going to explain that track title, because I knew that you'd have to, and you did very well. Can't fault you. I really like it. For me as well with this kind of album and with IDER. Do you think this is do you think this will get them? Because they already had a lot of plaudits from people for the stuff that they do, but I always thought they were a bit underrated in a lot of ways. I thought that their songwriting deserved much more in terms of a response. Do you think this will take them in that way?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the music industry, Jamie. I wish I were.
But that's what you told me yesterday. You told me that you were.
I am not these people that you want me to be.
I'm sorry. Am I just projecting onto you?
Yeah, you're pushing me to be more than I am, I think.
Right. Okay. But if you were all of those things,
yeah, I think it would do really well.
Because you said so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're in the clear at that point. You're in the clear. This is, I just think this album, IDER for me have always just delivered, constantly.
Yeah, and I think this is a really good evolution of that debut as well. I think this feels like a step onwards and upwards, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah, I would definitely hope so. And I think
hope so.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you've heard the album. You don't need to hope. You know.
Again, I'm not the industry, Jake.
Yeah, here he is.
Yeah, giving it that. Yeah, I really like this move into this direction of this kind of more, I don't know, packing more behind everything that they do. And I just like the fact that, it's all come together really nicely. This is an album that is just really, at moments, really calming. At other moments, very kind of direct. But it's kind of just led by kind of their voices as well.
Well, I also think that's what works as well. It is a very sort of calming and low-key album. So when you tune in and do listen to a lot of the stuff being talked about, it kind of hits harder because it does feel almost personal thoughts and diary entries rather than someone kind of on this tirade or doing anything to get a message across, you know?
Yeah, it's completely that. And I just think an incredibly accomplished album from a duo, that we've been big fans of for quite a while now. Lovely to see. Definitely go check it out. Shall we have a listen to another track, Jake?
Yes, this is Obsessed by IDER.
I'm just gonna stop before we play that track and just say this is Obsessed by IDER.
By IDER.
I'm sorry.
What you found, you see, this is the Gemini in me. I'm so passionately upside down. I'm just too scared, I'm too obsessed with you. I'll lose my mind and throw it long for you. I hate the way I'm so impressed by you. Next thing I know, I'll write a song for you. I'm just too scared, I'm too obsessed. I'm just too scared, I'm too obsessed with you.
Oh, let me tell you, Jamie, I'm obsessed with that track. We need to boost the listeners, right? These people, they get listeners in America. We just need to emulate, adapt.
What? And you think this is the direction we need to go in, is it?
It's direction.
To be a character.
It's better than your suggestion of us pretending to be Michael Caine the whole time until the Michael Caine fans listen.
Yeah, that fell apart really quickly.
It did.
Because...
And I do not want to go back to that era.
That was Shame. The new album from IDER, Master Wayne.
And I am obsessed with it, Master Wayne.
It is a banger, indeed. Incredible
now
scenes.
we must move on to another section of the show. Jamie.
You got it. Go on. You got it.
This is the tweet of the week.
Fucking hell. Sorry, everyone. It sounded painful, to be honest.
I can't really imagine him doing an extended note.
Yeah.
So it was hard. It was hard to sort of make it work.
Hard to picture it.
You got any tweets for us?
I certainly do. Shall I start us off? We go to friend of the show, CMAT. Of course, if you haven't listened, go back and listen to our episode with CMAT. It was an incredible
Delicious.
one. Incredible one. You've got nearly an hour of CMAT talking about all sorts. Drivers going through puddles, English drivers, the full shebang. It's what you want. Very road focused when I talk like that, but there are other discussion points. We're not just talking about the motorway, I do promise you. But CMAT has tweeted out. Now I'm going to have to try and explain this situation. So what has happened is there's a photo that has emerged online of a fan meeting Matty Healy, of course, who we've talked about already on the show, and what appears to be a TK Maxx store. For those who aren't aware, TK Maxx is... How would you describe TK Maxx, Jake?
Well, it's a designer outlet store, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of like the jumble sale of the high street. You know, you might, for example, buy one shoe there, but you not be able to find the second one.
I get all my socks from TK Maxx.
Good quality?
Well, variable depending on the brand, but that's the fun.
The different socks. One's got a Nike tick, the other's got an Adidas. You're like, that probably works.
They're both a similar size.
So the fan has met Matty Healy there. In the background of this photo as well, by the way, it's just FKA Twigs looking at some stuff. It's just,
she's not getting involved in the nonsense.
FKA Twigs is like, look, you just take the fucking photo. I'm not getting involved in this. And CMAT has tweeted, quote tweeting this, as a very famous celebrity who frequents TK Maxx, it is heartening to see other celebrities frequent TK Maxx. Celebrities, they're just like us. In brackets, other celebrities.
I don't know what to add to that, really. It sort of does our work for us. It kind of
does our work for us. It is the question, though. I always try and picture, these big superstars. Where do you think they go and shop? Where do you think they knock about?
Well, I always think there's this thing, right, where it's like, like they get like Selfridges shut down, and I'm like, look, if you're that bothered, you are aware you can order stuff online.
Yeah.
They do free returns as well.
Maybe they're just like, they want to get out of the house. They want to go to these places.
I guess, but it just feels a bit rude, doesn't it? Like, why don't you go to, like, a private room in Selfridges and get them to bring you the clothes?
Maybe, but no. See, this is where it all goes chaotic. So if someone did that, you'd be like, oh, what a dick. You wouldn't like that. You wouldn't like that.
Well, you don't have to tell anyone. But getting the whole place closed feels annoying. You know what I mean?
Don't tell us.
Oh, I'm just going to go shopping. Oh, I might go somewhere a bit fancy. They've got to... Oh, no, it's closed because, like, ASAP Rocky wants to try on fucking pants.
If I name off a few different artists, Jake, tell me where you think their number one shop is.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. So let's start with Youngblood.
Pound Stretcher. No, CEX.
Great shout. I don't actually want an explanation. We'll just go.
There isn't one. It's all
great.
vibes.
Sigrid.
Ooh, Sigrid. Habitat. Although that doesn't exist as a standalone store anymore, does it?
No.
H&M Home then.
Friend of the show, Tom Grennan.
Oh, Tom Grennan. Tom Grennan is a JD man.
You reckon? Yeah. Anywhere where he doesn't have to
look...
look...
king of trainers.
Anywhere where he doesn't have to look at people's elbows, famously.
Exactly, yeah.
You can go back and listen to that one as well. Let's do two more. Declan McKenna.
Declan McKenna, that's a tough one. I think it would be like a vintage place in Brighton. Like a Beyond Retro sort of vibe.
Oh, shout out Beyond Retro. Always there. Let's do Wolf Alice for our final one.
What, all of them?
Yeah, where would they all go on a shopping trip together if they had to go to one store?
I feel like it'd be like one of those sort of like boutique places that's kind of like alternative but still quite pricey.
Right. So stuff that
like
right.
somewhere on Carnaby Street where you might not necessarily have heard of the brand and they have like a leather jacket in the window, but it's good stuff, Just
good quality. It's one of those things that it's in the know. It's in the know rather than everyone would know about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, that was an incredible detour. What I will also add very quickly, just before we play a cracking CMAT track, is someone responded to CMAT on this and said, have you noticed that lots of them have gotten rid of the random shaped pasta section in TK Maxx? CMAT responded, what's going on there? Thanks a lot, Brexit.
Yeah,
I'm a
classic.
big fan
I tell
of
you
their
what,
assorted
Jamie.
panettone.
Quick one for you. Which do you think is CMAT's favourite shop?
Well, I mean, clearly a fan of TK Maxx.
Can't have TK Maxx.
Well, I couldn't say a shop, but I can actually tell you this, Jake, on the air. I actually met CMAT the other day. Which was quite nice. It was actually at the Seabright Arms where we famously hosted our Dork pub quiz.
Wow.
Next one coming soon. She was having the time of her life. It was great to meet in person. You know,
Was that
We're
when
connected now.
Was that the karaoke evening?
That was the karaoke evening where I did Kids by Robbie and Kylie. And I just want to flag here what happened and how I knew it was CMAT. Didn't know CMAT was there, was doing it. And I don't know if you know, there's a rap at the end of Kids.
Yeah, okay.
And I didn't know, because sometimes they cut the rap out of Kids, right?
They didn't, did they?
They didn't. And I was stood there like, I'm not prepared for this mentally. Out of the crowd, like, you know, like this idea of like Moses parting the Red Sea. The crowd parted, and someone just burst through the crowd, grabbed the mic, and went straight into the Robbie Williams rap. Did it flawlessly, not even looking, by the way, at the words. Knew it off the top.
Perfect.
That person was CMAT.
The hero we need.
Always. And to honour that, and to honour the fact that TK Maxx is wonderful, let's listen to CMAT, Too Wrecked to Care.
So for a bed, that was the only thing I've ever asked it to do. Sleep, I'm grateful. 3 hours sleep, I'm skipping days. 2 hours sleep, I'm awake for. Bitch, 1 hour sleep, I'm a missing link. Oh, 4 hours sleep, I'm grateful. 3 hours sleep, I'm skipping things. 2 hours sleep.
Lovely little tale there, Jake. Lovely little tale.
Now I've got a tweet for you.
Ooh, hit me.
This one is from Wet Leg, who we've spoken about before, who we actually recently went to see.
We did,
me
didn't
and Jamie,
we? We did.
as
That
a
was
married
good
couple.
fun.
Weirdly, Steve Lamacq got on stage to introduce them when we were there, but we must not have let the people know we were there. That must be the
Yeah,
issue.
otherwise it would have been us, surely. Like, we were quite. Yeah,
Well,
we did
yeah,
kick up a
clearly.
storm. We did kick up a storm there.
Yeah. So Wet Leg have tweeted, newsflash, if you need to shit in the bin.
Well.
Now, this is a quote from Peep Show, but putting that aside, Jamie, can
Yes.
you think of a scenario when you might need to shit in a bin?
I can understand the logic of shitting in a bin because, you know, if you're
It is
walking,
for waste.
if you're exactly if you're walking down the street, what are the options presented to you? If you're like, oh no,
That's interesting. I hadn't thought of that angle. So yeah, if you are in public, where
Yes.
do you shit?
And you can't go into a store or a shop. Though my argument would be is if you're in a place where there are bins knocking around, you surely be able to find a store. Maybe you're walking down a rural street.
Yeah, maybe you're making your way downtown, walking fast, and faces past you and you're homebound.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
maybe you've left a place and then realised halfway down the road, oh no.
So
I
you've
need to
left.
shit.
Let's say you've left the place.
Yeah.
It's the last bar on the high street, and, it's closed
shutting.
its doors.
And it's shut. Yeah.
And you've gone, all right, I'll leave, and then you just suddenly seized by the urgent need.
To defecate, yes. So that I feel like at that moment, really, what are your options? It's probably going to be a bin. Because, like you say, it's a waste disposal spot. I mean, if you could find one of those dog bins, maybe that's better because it's already got.
Yeah, harder to shit in though.
Yes, because it's like a
You
little.
want one of the open park bins, don't you?
Yeah,
Rather
yeah,
than the
open on the
closed
top.
off slot
Yeah,
bin.
and just have a little seat on the top of it.
I guess, yeah, and make sure there's no squirrels foraging around in there.
Yeah, that's a question actually. Shit in a bin or shit in the woods? You're probably
the
less.
woods.
You're probably less likely to be seen in the woods.
Yeah, plus it feels more like where the shit should be. Nourishing a tree.
even in his darkest moment, Jake wants to help Mother
I'm
Nature.
thinking of the life cycle, the circle of life.
Was that the sort of speech that like Al Gore gave at like Live Earth?
Yeah.
He was like, guys, come together, turn your lights
He
off.
said
Also,
the fossil
if you need a
fuel
shit,
industries pollute so much, and there's nothing you can do about that.
not.
But you can maybe turn your lights on an hour later at night. Maybe run your dishwasher on the eco cycle. Maybe stop flushing the toilet and shit in the woods to nourish a tree. All
That was
this
famously
helps.
the speech. That was
Yeah.
famously the speech. That was famously the
Yeah.
speech that was there. I think I've got to back the logic. Just want to flag some of the comments here on Wet Leg's tweet. One is, I'm at Camp Festival, been shitting in a wheelie bin all weekend. Now, don't know why you're doing that. There are loos available.
Did they bring the wheelie bin with them?
What's the wheelie bin for? Well, wouldn't you like to
You know, like when people like unload a like portable shower or something.
Yes. It's exactly that. It's exactly that. And I want to know. I back the shitting in a bin. To be honest, I've never done it myself, but I can understand.
I'd
the
hope
logic
I'd never
and
be in a scenario where I'd have to do it, but I can understand why if you did have to do it, it would be the best scenario. Much better than shitting on a chaise lounge, for example.
Yeah, that would be pretty awful, wouldn't it? Yeah, if you're shitting on a chaise lounge. Yeah, I hope is there a song that we can illustrate?
There is, yes, but it doesn't have the shitting in it. But anyway, this is Chaise Lounge by Wet Leg.
Excuse me. Hey, you over there on the chaise longue in your underwear. What are you doing sitting down? You should be horizontal now.
That's it.
It is it. The time has come to celebrate and have a good time because this show is over and you all get to return to your normal lives now.
You just want to rock, DJ, and the Dork Podcast is making you listen all night.
When's it gonna stop? You shout.
Stop, DJ.
Because we are literally.
It's making me feel like I need to shite in the bin.
That's the
You got
song
any predictions for next week, Jamie?
I reckon they're going to discover a star in the sky. They do that quite a lot, don't they? They find stars knocking about in the sky.
The star is born.
Exactly, and I think you know where this is going. The star's going to be named after arguably a key part of this show every single week, and that'll be Ringo Starr's star. But he won't accept it because famously he doesn't do autographs or messages
That's true.
anymore.
So he refuses to sign the paperwork.
He will simply not do it because he thinks it's a trick to then sell
and
his signature.
instead, it'll be named Paul McStartney.
Yes, that'll be it. What about you, Jake? What's your prediction?
My prediction is that the entirety of the Hercules soundtrack will be deleted from the world in a mysterious incident.
Ooh.
But out of nowhere, Dolly Parton will step in and reveal that she actually memorized it several years ago in case this would happen, and she'll
God.
re-record the whole thing.
Sensational. Once again, Dolly Parton coming to the rescue.
It's what she does. That's all we've got time for this week. Tune in next week for presumably something else and more of the same.
You'd hope so.
And if you have an issue with drafts under doors, if you get a long breed of dog like a basset hound or a dachshund and put its food by the door, you can train it to lie down in front of the door and block the draft.